Mm. Nothing's like a good glass of milk first thing in the morning. Milk does the body good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that means it's time to get busy. All right, let's go. Let's go to work. It's Monday morning. Time to rise and shine. Milk does the body good. It really does. Oh, I feel pretty good this morning. All right, then. It's time to rise and shine this morning because it's time to get up. Yes, it's Monday, holiday week. Well, sort of like a holiday week. 4th of July coming up in the week. So we're doing pretty good. Good morning. As you rise and shine this morning in the capital city, the temperature outside at the moment is 77 degrees. There's a 3% chance of precipitation today, which means that the sun will be out there. I know why people complaining that it's hot. It's summer. It's supposed to be hot. If it was cold, we'd be complaining. Whoa, now. Yeah, that's like complaining about it snowing on Christmas. Hey, it always snows on Christmas. It's in the winter. I'm just saying. All right, then. On tonight, 7% chance of precipitation. Mostly clear, low around 76 degrees tonight. Could be a little warm today. Tomorrow, or tomorrow, according to the weather guy here, tomorrow it's going to be like a 31% chance of precipitation. But other than that, it's going to be just a repeat of today, tomorrow, and stuff like that, for the time being. Good morning. I'm Kevin Elkins. This is Decisions. We call it that because everything you do requires you to make one. And even when you don't make one, you just made one. Can't get around it. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. Can't go through it. There it is. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. Next up, it's our daily bread. A word from our daily bread. A word from on high, because that's how we roll around here. We do our daily bread, a word from on high, because you gotta do it. Gotta get some motivation, and somebody once said that it's not what happens to you in life that bothers you as much; it's how you handle it. That would be the outcome of what happens, how you handle it. Anyway, good morning to you. So I shall return uno, dos, tres, cuatro, momento. Quattro, I think that means not five, totally. Anyway, we got to start today. And a word from on high. I'm going to hopefully change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way. Good morning. I'll be back. And the joy you make in the tapestry of life, I see your grace. Every moment filled with your warm embrace.
Hi friend, and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. My name is Sheridan Voisey, and I've titled today's reading, Children of God. I once spoke at a secular conference for childless couples. Heartbroken over their infertility, many attendees despaired at their future. Having walked the childless path too, I tried to encourage them. You can have a meaningful identity without becoming parents, I said. I believe you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there's new purpose for you to find. A woman later approached me in tears. Thank you, she said. I felt worthless for being childless and needed to hear that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I asked the woman if she was a believer in Jesus. I walked away from God years ago, she said, but I need a relationship with him again. Times like this remind me how profound the gospel is. Some identities, like mother and father, are hard for some to attain. Others, like those based on a career, can be lost through unemployment. But through Jesus, we become God's dearly loved children, an identity that can never be stolen. And then we can walk in the way of love, a life purpose that transcends any role or employment status. Psalm 139 tells us that all human beings are fearfully and wonderfully made. And John chapter 1 says, those who follow Jesus become children of God. Once in despair, that woman left in hope, about to find an identity and purpose bigger than this world can give. Today's scripture reading is from Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 through to chapter 5 verse 10. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. But among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or any kind of impurity, or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For of this you can be sure. No immoral, impure, or greedy person, such a person is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of such things God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. Therefore, do not be partners with them. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, and find out what pleases the Lord. Let's pray together. Lord, thank you for making me your child. Today, I embrace this as my prime identity. Before I am a teacher or an artist or an engineer or any other occupational identity, before I'm a mother or a father or a husband, a wife, or even a friend, I am your dearly loved child. Empower me by your Spirit to walk in the way of love today. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Good morning, Charlotte. Brando, you're singing in this one, right? Yeah. United States Army. Army's on its way, baby. Air troopers in tow. The United States Navy. That's some jokes for the Navy, but I'll save them. The United States Coast Guard. Ready. The United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Could have been a Marine. We want to go to that. They still got the best looking uniforms of different branches. I don't know why we stood behind. Okay, you know it's Monday, right? So I got to give you guys your. I'm going to give you. I'm not going to do the. I'm going to give you a little piece this one from Ronald Reagan, in the spirit of us celebrating 250 years. Now I will admit to you, the first 100 years kind of rough on the brother, on my relatives, but you know we working it out still. We're still working it out, but it's still. I'll put it this way. It's still better to be here than almost any other place, okay, that I have been anyway. I never will forget. There I was, landing in that beautiful C-141. And when they said, you're in America now, oh yeah, I kissed the ground when I got out that airplane. So I hadn't been any place yet that I'd rather be than here in the United States of America. And I don't think if you seriously think about it, if you've been any place at all, there's probably not a place that you want to be either. Okay. But anyway, next up, Rendezvous with Destiny by Ronald Reagan. I played this with Dan Morris when he gets a chance to tune in because, after I heard him, I loved me some Ronald Reagan. That was the only president that died that I cried. I just loved me some Ronald Reagan. I don't know what it was about Ronald Reagan that I liked, but he just seemed to be a guy that he was a good actor too. And I liked this movie too. I think he was in a movie called Away All Boats or something like that. Anyway, he did some good acting in the movies too. He actually was in the National Guard, you know. Okay, I'm just leave that alone. Anyway, so Rendezvous with Destiny. That's what's next up. How you say that? Rendezvous. I can't even spell Rendezvous with Destiny. But I sure know what it means. So let's take time out for this, and then we shall come back. Uno momento. Okay, so Ronald Wilson Reagan. Let me make sure that I put that down in the right. Right. Okay, Ronald RONALD. Ronald Wilson REAGAN. Ronald Wilson Reagan. Yeah, that was him. Okay, so let me make sure I get that so you guys can see it all. You know, I want y'all to know who you're listening to this morning. It only lasts for a few minutes, so don't be whining. Okay, it only lasts for a few minutes, and it's not very long at all. It's quite motivating, as a matter of fact. Okay, makes you glad that you be here. The kiss the ground, that's nasty. Now it depends on what ground you was on before, brother. Trust me, there are places in the world that you'd rather be kiss the ground of a dirty America than a clean one of them. Trust me, been there, done that. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, and I don't know what the guy. Now I didn't go to Vietnam, so whatever the places they over there, I think they'd rather be over here too. You know, we never really have appreciated the guys from Vietnam coming home. I don't think they've ever been given their due. I was young then. I don't think we've ever given them their due though. You know, it's almost like Korea. Most people don't even remember Korea. We was over there, you know, for years. My father was there. That's the only thing I really know about him. He was in Korea. Anyway, we'll leave that alone. Let me go back to this. So we'll come back. Ronald Wilson Reagan, Rendezvous with Destiny. Okay? It's really a good piece. It only lasts about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll be back.
Is not a man who could carelessly send other people's sons to war. And that is the issue of this campaign that makes all the other problems I've discussed academic, unless we realize we're in a war that must be won. Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. And they say if we'll only avoid any direct confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love us. All who oppose them are indicted as warmongers. They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple. If you and I have the courage to tell our elected officials that we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right, we cannot buy our security, our freedom from the threat of the bomb, by committing an immorality so great as saying to 1 billion human beings now enslaved behind the Iron Curtain, give up your dreams of freedom, because to save our own skins, we're willing to make a deal with your slave masters. Alexander Hamilton said, a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. This is the meaning, in the phrase of Barry Goldwater, peace through strength. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness. We will keep in mind and remember that Barry Goldwater has faith in us. He has faith that you and I have the ability and the dignity and the right to make our own decisions and determine our own destiny. Thank you very much.
Ronald Wilson Reagan. I know. Yeah. The word is that Ronald Reagan put all kind of drugs in the communities in Los Angeles and all that stuff. Listen. Right. I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know. I just know one thing. You don't got to take it. Somebody puts it to you. That's all I'm saying. Okay? I mean, that's all I know, is that you don't have to take things because somebody puts it in. So that lame excuse, well, you know, we put the guns over and This morning, I do have a hey, I'm only working 2 days this week. I'm going to do something I haven't done in 30 something years, and that's actually take a couple of day vacation. I'm going out. I'm leaving. I'm just going to go out of town. I want to go to Seattle, but I called the airport. Now I didn't have enough money, so I have to go someplace closer. Uh, I've never been to Mobile. I think I'm going to go down to Mobile and look at the water. I love water. Now, how I'm going to get there? Because they got that bridge thing. I don't know, but maybe I can go through Florida and then get come back around to Mobile some kind of way. Okay, I remember going to Pensacola, or maybe I go to Pensacola. I don't know. I think I'm just going to get in the car and just drive places, just to see what it's like. I haven't been on a vacation in years. Actually, I've actually never been on one. Last time I had a vacation, I was going on leave, and I got retired in 1989. So it's been a while, right? Haven't been any place, so I'm just gonna do that. Celebrate the 4th of July and stuff like that, and just gonna take some time off, and then come back and get prepared for this special election that's coming up September the 1st, and I'm going to involve myself in it, because I think my perspective is important. And somebody asked me the other day over the weekend. They said, "What's your platform?" So, "What's yours?" What's your platform? See, citizens often want the people in office to have all of the answers, when obviously the citizens don't believe that they do. So if you don't believe that the person that represents you has all the answers, then have you told him the answer? Have you got out there and said, "Hey, listen, let me talk to you. I think this is a great idea here. I think this is something we ought to try." Okay. Now, either it's going to be a crazy idea and we'll say, "Okay, looks pretty good," and keep moving. Or maybe you just may be onto something. No individual has all the answers to everything. Okay, none of us have all the answers here. But the problem is sometimes with our politicians is that they don't want to involve the rest of us. And therein lies, like Ronald Reagan said, therein lies one of the biggest problems of politics in America. I used to think, and maybe because, and I think there are other people listen to me that were in the military too. I used to think that civilian politicians were the smartest people in the whole wide world. I did. I thought, well, that's why they got elected, because they got brains. They're smarter than I am. When I go in the room with them, stand at parade rest and just be quiet and shut up and listen to them. I mean, I thought they were the smartest people in the world. But something happened. Something happened when I got out here to Montgomery, because it's the only place I've lived besides home. On a permanent basis. And this is the only place I've actually talked to politicians, because I always held them in high esteem, because I thought intellectually, I thought they were smarter than I am. Not so. not so much. Not so much. Okay, not necessarily. But they do have the guts to get out there and put their life online and put their fortunes on the line to run. So you have to give people who are at least willing to run the opportunity to see whether or not they can do the job. There are some people who just can't do the job, and we know it, but we vote for them anyway because we need some comedic relief. I got you. I feel you on that. But anyway, so I used to think that the politicians were the smartest guys in the world, and I used to think every politician, because that's what the Army taught you, because we work for the civilians, right? We work for the civilians, and that's where I grew up from 17 to 30. That's where I was, and so you go in there and you just kind of, if Senator somebody was coming on base, you kissed his butt, whatever the case may be. Say, "Hey, here's the toilet paper. You want me to wipe?" I mean, we did all that. Because they had the budget, they held your gonads in their hands, and you could either exist or not exist, at least exist better if you had more money. And the people who handled the money were the senators and the congressmen and stuff like that. So, but I was mistaken. Yeah. Just because you get elected don't necessarily mean you're the smartest guy in town. So I've learned that lesson of life, and there are some smart people in politics. There are. So I tell you, one of the smartest guys I know. And this guy who's running for governor of Florida will probably be governor of Florida. Black man, smart. I like people smarter than me. Does anybody know why I like people smarter than me? Well, I'll tell you I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, good morning to you. Oh, also in Montgomery, I'm going to show you the picture of the luckiest black man in America. Luckiest black man in America. No. We're gonna do better than that. The luckiest black man in the hemisphere. Okay, the luckiest black man in the hemisphere. Matter of fact, let me show you who he is right now. Okay, I'm gonna show you who he is. You probably won't meet him, but he really is the luckiest black man in the hemisphere. Not the state, not the country, not the region, but in the hemisphere. Okay, this guy right here is that man. This guy right here is that man. So let me see if I can show you, and then tell you why he is the luckiest man in the world. At least in this hemisphere, he is. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what he what he did. Okay, let's can I get him on here? Okay, share screen. Okay, this one right here. Oh no, that's not the one. Here we go, right here. Okay, there we go, right there. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Okay, hold on. I get it to you in a minute. Oh, that's right. I got a guest coming on. I forgot all about my guest today. Man, let me get this thing out of here. I'm glad I forgot about my guest. I'm going to show y'all the luckiest man in the hemisphere, and he definitely the luckiest man in Montgomery, Alabama. But I'm gonna get to him in a sec. But before then, we got a guest coming on right now, and it is my good friend, Councilman, one of the hardest working. He reminds me, who's that guy in the music business? That he James Brown. He's the hardest working man in politics. Okay, and now let me see if I can get him on here. Make sure we get. Good morning, Arande.
Good morning, Kevin. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly.
Thank you.
You must actually went out and bought a good phone.
Just got a good earpiece.
Oh, okay. Anyway, good morning to you. And so what's on your mind this morning?
I wanted to kind of touch on Councilor Marsha Johnson situation. Mm-hmm. It was put out by an individual over the weekend that some conspiracy theory about myself and somebody else leaking her address, mm-hmm. or leaking her personal information, which is totally not true. Most of the council personnel, probably outside the city council meeting, do not communicate unless it's just dire need. So we pretty much don't ask or don't really visit each other outside of city council meetings. So people take the assumption that we know where every city council live, where they lay their head, and that's just not true. It's not our job or responsibility to check. Once we take that oath, upholding the Alabama Constitution, that's you as an individual that should be doing what you took an oath to do. And that oath and even Act 618 say that you are to reside in the district that you're representing. And that's done for a reason. Just like this morning, I was riding to work, hit 2 potholes on the way coming, because I live in my district that I represent. And I was able to contact somebody immediately to get those potholes fixed. Mm-hmm. Councilor Johnson and I did have a disagreement about a appointment that I was trying to appoint, and that disagreement stayed on the city council. Once we left from up there at the city council, we were back to being our normal selves. So generally, it's nothing personal when city council, the mayor, do not agree with each other. We take it as a job, and once we clock out, it's left there. It's nothing that's personal. It's nothing, because all of us want what's best for the city of Montgomery. and with Councilor Johnson, and I feel she still want what's best for the city of Montgomery. So just want to make sure that we cleared it up that until I first saw somebody first told me about Councilor Johnson probably 2 weeks prior to I think 1819 News and WSFA releasing that story out on her. Individual sent me a screenshot where somebody posted that information on the Nextdoor app. Mm-hmm. It was a conversation, and then that conversation turned into 1819 reporting it in certain documents on the news.
Let me ask you, and you're gonna have to explain this to us, because why don't you guys have interaction outside of, I realize that you cannot do certain things. You can't, what they call a quorum or something. You can't, all
Yes.
You guys can't be together. But why not have those relationships where it may make it easier to on policy issues if you guys actually know each other a little bit? Why not have that kind of relationship with each other?
I mean, Kevin, just like with a regular job, that's the same thing asking you if you work like you work at the radio station and it's 15 people work there. And do you have a relationship with all 15? No, you probably would not.
Well, actually, I did. Yeah.
Oh, but you're different than most. But I'm just being. I mean, we have those things we call cliques. It's just some individuals that you click and you are fond of, and you build a outside relationship with. Mm-hmm. And some individuals you just don't. I am one of those individuals. I try to make sure that I conversate and build a friendship with pretty much everybody on the council. If they're having something and they invite me, I'm definitely gonna show up. There's nothing that say that we have to be friends. We are colleagues. Most time when you're colleagues, you end that when you clock out at 5 o'clock. That's it until you return back to work or over the weekend. But we try our best to make sure that we, if it's something that we need to discuss, for us, if it's something that's happening in Councilor Beard district, she'll call me, ask me for advice, or if something that I need to ask her. But we do communicate, but just outside of city council, for us personal, we just hadn't did that. Hadn't did it within the 7 years. It's certain council people that Councilor Glenn Pruitt has invited me to his house to watch fight night. Been over to Councilman President Councilman C.C. Calhoun because I think he had hip surgery. He had some type of surgery he was recovering from, and I went and checked on him. But other than that, those invitations just hadn't been sent out to, and just like I don't even know, same thing with the mayor. I know the facility that he lives in, but has never been to his house, and it's just a working relationship that we have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, I mean that's kind of different from in the military. We having relationships with the people you work with. It's just part of the thing, and because you have to form a team, and you got to depend. Of course, y'all don't have to. Well, I don't know. This is Montgomery. You may have to depend on saving each other's life because depending on where you are around here. But it's just I don't know. It's kind of. But I see now why there's a sort of a disconnect between you guys sometimes, and because you really don't know one another.
And so there goes again. We're here to represent our district and what's best for the individuals in our district. So the relationship that we all seek is the relationship that we have with our constituents. Right. So that's most important for everybody on that council, whether you like me personally as Councilman Mitchell. Right. We are there to do a job.
Okay. And most people that I know that you represent, most people say you're doing a pretty good job. So I guess whatever's working for you is working for you. But I'm finding out. Here's what I'm finding out that you found out a long time ago. No matter what kind of job you do, there's somebody
Yes,
that's not gonna like you, and
that's correct.
you cannot take that personal because most of the time they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
And,
I understand.
and sometimes the dislike is my motivation. When somebody say, "Hey, I don't care for Councilman Mitchell," that makes me work harder. Because, like I said, even if you didn't vote for me and you stay in my district, I still want you to know that you have a voice in me. You can always call me, reach out to me, no matter if we had a disagreement beforehand, afterhand. I'm here to serve you, and that has been my whole job for the last going on 8 years, to make sure that I'm doing what the people ask me.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about some city council business here that something you can talk about. The OVP, the Office of Violence Prevention, which I don't know why we need to rename that because we ain't stopping no violence. But when people are getting paid $240,000 overtime pay, and you still really don't have a record of accomplishment, is that money well used? Should we do something else? I mean,
So let me ask you, how many homicides this time that we have, the same point of time last year that we have now?
not here.
Where were we at last year?
We had more people than last year than we got now.
So we making and we making excuses. So from we are doing some things with the Office of Violence Prevention that people don't see and will not recognize unless you're actually out on the street. So the information that they're providing to Montgomery Police Department and Crime Stoppers are some information that that wouldn't be given to just the average police officer. So they're doing some things that that the public is not privileged to what they're doing. So they are doing some great work, and I hate that one story make us second think about other twos. This is only a tool to help Montgomery Police Department. It's only an aid. It's not taken away. I don't want anybody to say that I heard a report that we are defunding the police department. And I was saying how we just did a $15,000 incentive package. So we are not taking away this money was grant money. Also part of the opera dollars that we had already allocated towards violence and prevention.
Right.
So nothing that we are doing, and my dad always gave me always told me, I said, Dad, I need a toolbox. I said, the only thing I need is a toolbox with 32 sockets. He said, son, make sure you get a toolbox with 64 sockets. I said, Dad, why is that? He said, you'd rather have that socket in that box if you need it and don't have that socket if you. So I want to make sure that we have stuff in that toolbox that if we need to use it, we can use it, versus if we don't have it in there, we can't not use it. So the Office of Violence and Prevention is just a tool.
Okay.
It's just a tool that's not taken away from the police department. It's not taken away from the fire department. It's only aiding in some of the things that the city is trying to do. Most cities are helping the police department. If you look at any major city, they have the same program, just name something else. And we talk about the article that came out that talked about Ms. Tice getting overtime. At that time, it was only one person in that particular office when she got that overtime. So she was doing the job of three people. I must commend her on the work that she did in that office by herself. But if you look at the budget, if you were to look at the budget here and look at everybody else budget and look at the overtime compared to the one overtime that Office of Violence Prevention had, you will start to see that overtime is overtime. So
let me ask you a question then.
Yes, sir.
If that in fact is the issue, why not hire somebody?
They did. They recently hired. I think it's foolish that. Well, I think they have 7 people in that department now. Okay. I think she was in there at the time that the director, I think Keith Moore, end up leaving.
Walked out of the building. Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up leaving, and she took on that responsibility of doing everything she could by herself.
So
And
believe, or no, you believe then that it is a good use of money to have the OVP.
yes, I believe that any to aid in stopping what we seeing in the city of Montgomery, and those numbers for homicide has been shown. And this year may be one of the lowest year. No, listen, one homicide is actually too many.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the young man that was killed over the weekend, I speak to that man because he worked at a popular breakfast spot. I spoke to that man almost every morning that I went to that breakfast spot in West Montgomery. So anytime that you lose one family member, it's too many. Talked to my daughter, talked to his sister. She was in tears. And the thing people don't understand, this was a domestic between family members. So we can have a police on every single corner, and that wouldn't have stopped two family members from having a dispute. Right. and pulling out a gun. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing everything I can. Education is very important to me. Just stood up in front of the board and asked them to consider a bonus for our teachers and support staff, because that's where it started. At one point, every individual in the city of Montgomery had to walk through somebody's schoolhouse, somebody's school door. And so I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to grasp or have those individuals opportunity to have a mentor. And the best mentor that you can have that a student spend 8 hours with, would be a teacher.
Okay.
So I am looking to implement a mentoring program in each high school, mm-hmm. With the male teachers that's in those high schools.
Okay. One other thing that you guys have a history of doing since I have been here for 35 years is selecting people who get liquor licenses as opposed to other people who get liquor licenses. And we still don't have a written SOP for licenses. And I was down there a couple of weeks ago. I watched it on television, where we turned a man down because something happened in the parking lot outside of his place. Now, when Walmart has issues, we don't close Walmart down. We don't take their business license from them. A couple of years ago, something happened at Bama Lanes. We didn't close them down. Somebody died and people got shot. If a person is doing their due diligence to make sure that their facilities or their business is as safe as you can possibly make it, we got people with guns called policemen who can't stop people from being stupid. So why do we put so much pressure on our business people sometimes when those things happen? Because they happen all over town, in Walmart, Kmart, at the health center, at the gym. These things happen and we don't. And you add alcohol into it, then that's just going to make it worse most of the time. When COVID hit us hard, one of the places that were left open was the liquor stores. So evidently, somebody must think that liquor is important. So why is it that we don't have a written SOP for liquor licenses? And as long as that person is doing their due diligence, why we want to close them down? It's a liquor. And one more, then I'll let you answer this.
Yes, sir.
We're always telling these people about, did you get the cooperation of the neighborhood association? I realize there's politics involved in this, but that's not law. 618 does not ask, ABC does not ask that if you're going into business, you need to get a permission from the local neighborhood association. That's not law. How do you guys implement that when it's not part of the process legally?
So let's start with your Walmart. You said that it may have been a shooting at Walmart.
Well, it has
Walmart.
Been.
Well, I'm just saying, but Walmart is essential. When you look at Walmart and you compare it to a club, do you say that a club is essential, or do you say that Walmart? Do you say that Walmart? Do you say Walmart?
To the people who want to go to the club, It's essential.
Yeah. So, and then you look at the bigger purpose of a club and Walmart. So it's kind of different. That's why I wouldn't compare it to Walmart. But I do agree. Um, Only thing about having a standard operating procedures, if you put something in writing, just say I put it in writing. If you check all the if you check all the boxes, and I still don't approve your liquor license or your business license, then you're going to be even mad because I gave you all these steps, and we try not, because everything is different. Sometimes that we look at um, how close it is to a neighborhood. Would it disturb their neighborhood? Have they had any other issues in the past? So we look at that, the whole picture, just not, okay, is it serving the neighborhood? Is it what the neighborhood is looking? How does this establishment help grows the neighborhood? So there's a lot of factors when they come in, and the biggest factor is, yes, we do. That's what we're voted in for, to listen and be a voice for the people that we represent. So if the individuals that we represent say, hey, listen, this is not the business that we want, we still, just like the individual that we're talking to, the neighborhood came out and said before we gave him his liquor license that they did not want to see this particular business. We still gave him, that individual, the opportunity to operate under conditions. Hey, listen, if anything was to occur within this time frame, that we'll be looking to pull your license. So we don't just automatically say no, no, no. We do give individuals opportunity, because we have done several event centers that on Harrison Road that the neighbors did not want, came out in numbers, and Andrew gave them an opportunity to go into business. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it backfires on the city council. We're bringing them back in front of us, and we try our best to make sound decisions. And in those decisions that we make, we do take in consideration the constituents, especially the ones that stay in close proximity of any establishment. So that's the first thing that we look at. Hey, we do not have a standard of operations, but let's look and see what we can do, because we don't ever want to put something in writing and then they still don't get their liquor license. So we try to stay away from that, because each situation is different.
I mean, it's reasonable, but you leave the business, the prospective business owner in a limb, because there's, in other words, we are subject to things that are not written any place, that are not SOP, and so each individual city council person now gets it's the only place on the city council that we lend all of our power to one city council person to determine whether or not I get my license. I get to do business. That's the only place on the city council where that happens. Other than that, you guys vote as a whole. Except on this case, like Grimes the other day, he was already opposed to these guys getting a license already, because whatever, there was nothing legal that he could bring up, but it's personal opinion. And these guys put a lot of money into their thing. If you don't want things to happen with alcohol, then don't sell alcohol. Okay.
But the good thing about it, Kevin, like this system that we have, if the city council make a decision and that you do not like the outcome of that decision, you can always take us to circuit court. Same thing, if we do not give you a liquor license, you can always appeal to the ABC board. So there are things that are individual.
So you're going to cost me more money. You're going to cost me more money. I'm trying to get a business off the line. You got to cost me more money now that I probably don't have to do what's right to begin with.
Yeah, like I said, it just depends on the situation. Okay. Like I said, I'm big on listening. I do want business, but I have had some experience with one club that was in my district that we end up having to close due to some of the disturbance that was being had. And so you just take that into consideration when it comes to other business, because if you've been on there for 7 or 8 years, you have seen the number of, especially when it comes to clubs that have came through the city of Montgomery. Because before I first got on the council, I think they closed out maybe 3 clubs at one city council meeting. So the city and the citizens are tired of seeing some of the things that we're seeing when it comes to the nightlife.
Okay, and I guess my only big problem here is that it's too much of this is left up to a personal grudge or personal grievance that a city councilman has, as opposed to what the law says. Put it in writing. And in other words, do we have in the law in the SOP? Well, if you come down here 3 times, the 3rd time you're gone. I can live with that. You know that we're gonna give you some grace because people do stupid things. But on the 3rd time, is that in writing any place? So
generally, the city council person will say it in open meeting, put it on record that, hey, I'm giving you a 90-day probationary period. And if anything happened in that 90 days, I'll bring you back. So generally we say it in open meeting. Once we say it in open meeting and it's put on record, that is the binding that we have with those individuals that own those particular night, whatever establishment it is. But generally we say it in open meeting. Our expectations and your probationary period and when you will come back in front of the city council.
Are those the only businesses that get that kind of guidance? Is there any other kind of business in town to get that kind of guidance?
So tow trucks, anything dealing with transportation. If you look on the city council meeting, tow trucks, limousine services, any type of transportation service actually comes in front of the city council.
Okay, I guess. It just seems to be unfair. We got policemen in Montgomery and they can't stop crime. So now we want to take the small business guy who's trying to do his due diligence, and now we're going to blame him for the things that go on outside his purview, which is outside in parking lots and things of that nature. The police are not stopping the crime.
So let me pose a question to you, Kevin. You say that the club owner or whoever cannot stop what's going on outside. If I come to your club and I drink too much alcohol, I go out and have a car accident, say 3 miles away from your establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you liable?
So something happened 3 miles away from my establishment?
And I left. I'm intoxicated leaving your spot. I was at your spot. Your bartenders allowed me to overindulge in alcohol. I go out and have a car accident 3 miles away from your establishment.
How do we know he wasn't drinking in the car?
Hey, but I'm asking you, are you liable?
It depends on if you can prove that he got drunk at my place. He may have.
So it's a possibility that you could be liable, correct?
Well, that's a possibility.
Yeah, and so that's that, and that's what we're looking for. Yeah, you cannot govern your whole parking lot because your whole parking lot, but we are talking about in a certain perimeter. I think one situation that they had in Ed's district, gunshots were fired at the door. I think some people were saying inside the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in close proximity of being inside or at your door, I think that was the factor that made Councilor Grind determine that business need to be closed if they could not protect their patrons on the inside.
But you just said a few minutes ago, if it happens at Walmart, we're not going to close Walmart down because they are essential. Same thing.
Yeah, it's a nightclub. So in your opinion, a nightclub is essential to
the people who want to go.
The well-being. We're talking about Montgomery as a whole, the well-being of the city of Montgomery.
Well, some people don't like, wait a minute. Some people don't like going to Walmart.
Yeah, I understand that. But and like I said, Kevin, we
Okay,
just try to do.
it's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do. We try to look at everything. And I think we brought this individual back and back because I think a decision didn't want to be made hastily. We do carry stuff on if we have a anything that we want to do some research on, talk to some people about. You'll hear the city council saying, "Hey, I would like to carry this agenda item over," giving us 2 weeks
Right.
to talk to the owners, talk to anybody else, talk to the police department, get any 911 calls or service calls. So we try our best to do our due diligence to make sure if we do decide to close a business down that we have support and document if they decide to take us to court. So we have to do we have to do the legal, make sure that we do everything
Right.
that we possibly can to make sure that we are correct when we do it.
But politics does play a part in this. I mean, it just does. Walmart, you don't close them down. You didn't close the Alabama lanes down. We didn't do that. And I'm just saying.
So with Bama Lane, if you were to go back and watch it, I did raise a lot of concern about Bama Lane. I went off about Bama Lane because I knew the young man Jeff.
Right.
That was murdered at Bama Lane. So I did speak up and speak out. I think the family members, little Jeff mother Kim came to the city council and asked the same question. Like I said, at the end of the day, that was not in my district, but I did raise a lot of concern about stipulations of Bama Lane. I even asked for security, so I did ask for a lot of things when it came about Bama Lane.
I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them because I go there. I used to go there all the time. It's a great atmosphere, and that was just one of those things that happened because people were crazy. Okay, so that's all I'm saying is that we need. We're always talking about the influence it has on the community. A couple of years ago, when I first got here, there was an abortion clinic across the street from a church. And nobody closed them down. Church, religion, and God is all about life. But right across the street from them was a place that was taking kids' life, just killing them. And we didn't close them down. So I'm just, who determines what the priorities are here in the environment by which we live in? I guess the people. I just said we need to put it on paper so I know exactly what I have to do. If that city council calls me up there 2-3 times, and there's a good chance that you're going to lose your license. Hey, it's in the paper. It's there. Your part, you worried about it, the ramifications of putting it on paper. So when they do something that if they didn't quite violate the letter of law, then you can't close them down.
Yeah, and so what we also did, Kevin, we used to have, and I'm going to, the Office of Violence Prevention and myself used to have a nightlife monthly meeting. We will started back in July that we got all the club owners, lounges, bar owners, and we'll meet. They'll have an opportunity to talk to the police department, tell them what they need to help to make sure that they're safe and comfortable. So we're doing everything it can. I also had an ordinance that the city said it wasn't ready for, that governed what time these night establishment can open and close. And I thought it was a good idea because it gave the police department, they knew what time every nightclub was going to let out. So they knew where to be stationed at. They knew where they need to be because everybody was getting out at 2:00. Right now, the city of Montgomery does not have a ordinance of that type. So most clubs going to close at different times. I just thought that it was a good idea that we closed them all at the same time. That way it won't stress our police department. They'll know exactly where to be and when to be. So I'm going to try to bring that ordinance back so we can so we can aid the police department in doing what they need to do at night.
Okay. Well, let me say, first of all, I was kind of tough on you there, but I think you're one of the best city councilmen down there.
Thank you, sir.
You're always amenable. You're always approachable. You've always come in giving us information, whether as for
yes, sir.
and I appreciate that. But
Yes, sir.
I just have a problem. And when I get on the city council, we're gonna talk about this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rondé, thank you, sir, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Give part of your time this morning. Keep up the good work. And
Yes, sir.
see, you do it the right way. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you, but we can leave. We can leave. Still be approachable, and you always
Yes, sir.
on and talk to us about things. All right.
Yes, sir.
You a Democrat?
Say it again.
Are you a Democrat?
I represent the people.
Boy, you gonna be there a long time. See you later.
All right, sir.
Okay. You are the man, but that man's gonna be in office as long as he wants to. All right, then. We go back to what we were talking about. See, he know how to answer. Now, somebody's getting in my case because you don't call people a bigot. Listen, that one guy that gets on my case all the time is always a bigot. He's a Democrat, and anybody who likes Trump or whatever, it's just useless and an irrelevant idiot. And so there's some people who I won't even talk to. Now, bring me an intelligent question. And I'll answer you intelligently if I can, or else I'll do like I tell people to do. Say you don't know, okay? But that's okay. Well, it's sure other businesses are accountable for their actions. Restaurant health violators, that's true, and those businesses right there though can from a restaurant can get a whole lot of people sick real quickly. I understand why you should be in the food business. I understand that you want to make sure that they're not, that they're not giving bad food away and stuff like that. Okay. Something to tell Kevin. What's it? Keep hope alive. Tell Kevin to run for council seat and see what he can do better. That's what I'm doing. I'm running for the council seat, District 3. I'm running for it. Okay, so I got no problem with that. And I also don't have all the answers. Okay. Oh, let me get my phone thing back on here. Sorry about that, guys. I had the phone thing off. So that's why I didn't hear the phones. Let me get back to the phone. Okay, put that phone line back on there. Okay, let me see. See. Now, where's it go? Okay. Okay, share that. All right, then. Okay, now I can take a phone call if you guys want to get in. I'm sorry I didn't realize the phone thing was off. Allow. Yes, Don.
Aren't we paying him to work on truancy in the school system?
Well, we're not. I mean, the city doesn't have a school system. He works for the county.
Well, he's working for somebody for truancy, right?
I don't know what he's exactly doing. I don't know if they have.
Well, who's paying him this morning while he's on the radio with you?
What's that got to do with anything?
And how's that with truancy? How's truancy doing?
Why are you asking me?
Well, he's a councilman. I got a problem with somebody who's been paid by something in his own on the air. You do that as a part-time job. You don't do it when you get paid by the county or the city.
You do realize that school is out right now.
Well, he's down there working something, ain't he?
I don't know, but you don't.
Maybe he's working. Maybe he's trying to get overtime.
School is out. School is out. There's no school back till August something.
People like him work 12 months a year.
Okay. Well, whatever. I don't.
He ain't at his house, is he?
I don't know.
Hey, let me tell you about my black experience yesterday. You want to hear about my black experience?
Not really, but go ahead.
Yesterday, I got, for Father's Day, I got this card from Academy Sports. So I saw Academy Sports have a fan, so I went to buy the fan. And I got my fan. I'm going to check out. I see the cashier arguing with a coworker in front of the thing, just arguing about what time they came to work and all this. I'm just standing there, and she keeps going on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the guy walks over to the other counter, and she keeps going on. I'm right between them. I eventually just say, this is totally unprofessional. So then she goes off on me. You say, I'm not checking you out, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, give me the short. Give me the short story here.
Well, anyway, somebody comes to check me out. But anyway, I pay for my item. I'm leaving. The black store manager needs to follow me out and tell me I'm not welcome back. You know, he don't even find out what the situation is. They sit up there arguing for I don't know how long over who came to work and when doing what and not doing their job. That's the black experience.
Okay. Hey, sorry that happened to you, but let's move on to some other experiences right now. Okay. I know what you're talking about, though. I do. I've been in the middle of some of those things and people at work use their personal grievances at work to talk about things that I don't care nothing about. I get you. But that is it is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. Not much we can do about it. The numbers here are what are the numbers here, as a matter of fact? 521-2963. All right, Steve, give us a call back. We'd love to talk to you. What else is going on? I was going to show you the luckiest guy in Alabama. I'm going to show it to you in a minute here. Simply Days.
Morning, Mayor.
Morning.
I think one of your main foundation points of your platform, one of the pillars of your, should be simply a statement that says, I know where I live.
Well, I do know where I live. That's true. Yeah, I know where I live.
I think that could get a lot of people's attention, asking, well, doesn't he know where he lives? Well, what's going on? And the reason you're running is because
I know where I live.
You know where you live.
Yeah,
what a simple concept. What a simple part of your platform.
Yeah.
But politicians, they are the greatest used car salesmen that they are in the world.
Although now, hold it. Okay, because I used to think the same way, but there are some dumbasses out here that all they do is want to find that you're not perfect, like we already know that, and then just go on and on and on. You never can do anything to please them, like Don. You see, Don is one of those guys, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you can work 24 hours a day. That's a guy right there that'll still find that you're not working hard enough. So, it's politics, public policy. And I think
you're trying to struggle with, you're trying to put logic, you're trying to put a square peg into a round hole.
Mm-hmm.
Politicians, they don't think like we do. They don't. And just like with the liquor thing, you can come up with all of these reasons why you can't have a standard operating procedure. Why you can't have a simple guidance and direction. Here are the boxes you need to check off, and
that does kind of bother me a little bit. If the military got to use UMJ on every action that we do, there's a regulation that guides it.
Yeah, and if you go change post, if you get a new assignment, go to another post, and they're going to have an SOP manual for you, and you're going to read it, and you're going to be able to perform. But see, they don't want that because it eliminates the king's rule. And the king gets to decide, not the subjects, but the king gets to decide. But anyway, hey, I just got to let you know, man, what I saw this weekend, and it was shocking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so, Sweet Creek had their watermelon festival.
Okay.
And the thing was so big, they had to open up. They cleared a lot in the back to put all these vendors back there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was jam packed. And I'm going down by the vendors, and I start seeing every other one is is a black group. That's the vendor selling stuff. So I'm saying to myself, they must not have gotten the memo from 50 Cal Joe about the boycott. And then they had this black band playing this good old soul.
Oh yeah,
old time. Yeah, they were playing, so they must have not got the memo from 50 Cal Joe. But the most shocking thing, the Montgomery Republican Party had a booth up, and as I approach it, there are two black families standing in front of it, and they're giving them an American flag, a Republican pin, and a cookie for the kids. And so I eased over to the side to watch, and they didn't try to put handcuffs on them. They didn't tell them they couldn't vote. But I know two families now that may be thinking differently.
Yeah. Well, if we look at it from a historical perspective, again, it's been the Republicans who were the abolitionists who helped free the slaves, and how we from the people who freed the slaves to the people who love slavery. And listen, how that transformation happened, only God knows.
That's why the old saying about politics makes strange bedfellows.
Yeah, it does.
And you never know who's playing on the other team.
You never
Have
do.
a good day, man.
All right, appreciate it. Now, like I was telling you guys earlier today, I'm going to show you a picture of the most luckiest black man in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, let me make sure I can get him for you. Okay, okay, there he is, right there. Okay, this guy right here is the luckiest man in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, not just the city of Montgomery, not just the state of Alabama, not just the country of the United States of America, but the hemisphere. This guy right here is the luckiest guy in the hemisphere. Now, why am I saying that? Because Mr. Jarvis, Maurice Bowers, is accused of shooting 30 gunshots at the MPD. He is the luckiest black man in America right now that he is not dead. Okay? How do you shoot 30 rounds at the police department and you don't get shot? How do you do that? Maybe that's that DEI thing we've been talking about, but he lucky DEI was in effect. Okay? He lucky that they were in effect. So how in the world is he alive today? 30 rounds. Listen, normally if you shoot one round, okay, not 5 rounds, not 15 rounds, not 20 rounds, but 30 rounds, I just got to give Chief Gray Boys an amen for that, because I know they could have took him out. Okay, they could have took him out. I know they could have took him out. Somebody. I don't know was this guy barricaded, or were all the policemen behind their cars, whatever the case may be, but they found 30 shell casings. How is he still alive? Honestly, I mean, how did that happen? Now, I think some alcohol was involved. That alcohol thing will get you kind of messed up in the head. But how is this man still alive today? Okay. So it just seemed like to me that he should be on his knees right now in jail, thanking God above that he is still walking on earth. Because that right there absolutely is crazy. 30 shots. You listen, you're going to get shot if you shoot one time. But 30 and he's still alive to hear about it? Oh, yeah, that is the luckiest black man in the hemisphere right there. Okay. And I hope he is thanking God Almighty this morning that he is still alive. Okay. It depends on his neighborhood and military service whether or not he is alive. I don't care what you shoot at the police 30 times, you're going to get shot. Again, somebody use a lot of restraint on this issue right here. And I hope if he don't believe in God, he ought to believe in him. Okay. Because that's the only thing that saved you, my friend. That's crazy. 30 times. Oh, no. But anyway, so he's the luckiest man in the hemisphere right now. So from this day forward, Mr. Bowers, you should always pray every day that you are still here and you have the ability to pray that they did not kill you. Okay, I'm just saying you are the luckiest man. You're the luckiest man in the Western Hemisphere. What's going on there, my friend? Andre? Okay. No. No, he been shot too. Absolutely. But I don't really care. But he happens to be black. Right. He'd be lucky if he's white too. That's true. But he's a black guy. And normally, the history. But yeah. But we know that the brothers. Oh yeah. Well, again, let me put. I got to put you on. People saying they can't hear you because I forgot to turn my thing on. Well, I'll tell them. I'll tell. But again, though, the history behind all of this is.
There's a lot of history behind a lot of things.
Right.
But if you're gonna talk about luck is luck. It don't matter who it fall on.
Yeah, well, that's true. But when I saw that, I said, "What? 30 rounds?"
Again, I say. Yeah. You say 30. I say 100.
Okay.
Well, how lucky were they?
Well, WSFA.
So they've been spreading luck all over Montgomery lately.
Yeah.
And then again, at the end of the day, weigh your own truth now.
Yeah. Listen, hey, the WSFA website said 30. So I don't know, how many.
I said that they said 30 in that incident. I said 100 in another incident.
Oh, okay. And people still walking around?
You heard of anybody getting killed?
No, I didn't know. I haven't heard.
By the police?
I haven't heard.
So obviously they are still walking around, huh?
Yeah, I haven't heard of.
Okay, we've been spreading a lot of love lately. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
and again, I say to you, I remind you, weigh your own truth. Don't take my truth.
No, I understand. I haven't heard one about 30 rounds, 100 rounds being.
I know. It was in the paper. You know what they say about put it on a book and what it'll do for us.
Well, I do read, so
All right. Well, you didn't read that.
Well, I can't get.
It was in writing.
Yeah, I can't.
It was in writing because I read it.
Well, I didn't read the Wall Street Journal either, but I'm pretty.
Well, that's okay. That don't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
I didn't see it, so it couldn't have possibly happened because I didn't see it.
No, I just didn't hear.
No, it happened.
100.
Well, I ain't gonna say it happened. They said it happened.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't count 100. I counted, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Normally, you shoot at the police one time, you go 30 times.
Okay.
30 times.
All right.
It's a miracle.
Okay, and then I say 100. So we were spreading love all over the place. That's all.
Okay.
I still say I stick by my original statement.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm good.
You want to know if that's my final statement? That's my final statement.
Okay, then. Well, I appreciate that information.
Okay.
I needed to hear that. Yeah, I'd never heard anybody get 100 rounds, but hey, it happened with the guns these guys carrying nowadays. It's no big deal to get 100 rounds going off in a matter of a couple of minutes. Don, I just got done talking to you, my friend. We're gonna talk to somebody else right now. Yeah, we'll give you a rest for the rest of the hour. So. Anybody else want to call? Do it. 521-2963 if you want to give us a call. Sorry about that. Seedless watermelons differently in the body than seeded. Really? They got seedless watermelons? I didn't know that. They must make those down south. Where can I get one of those at? Can I go out to a Reed English place and get I didn't know you had water. So you mean I can get a watermelon without all them seeds and stuff in it? I can just eat the whole thing? Man, I didn't know that. Do they taste good? Yeah. Do they? Doug, Don, we just got you, brother. I know what you're gonna say, so we'll say that for tomorrow. Okay. As a matter of fact, right now I need to go out and get me a cup of milk right quick, and got to take a break. So we're gonna take a little break here. 3 minutes. BREAK, and we are going to. I like Rodney Mitchell. I really do. Rodney Mitchell's a good guy. He's always out there. He reminds me a lot of. William Green. William Green worked his butt off for his district, trying to get things going on, and because people kept going around talking about he's a Republican, so you don't vote for him. So you take a guy that's working hard for you, trying to bring jobs in, trying to bring industry, and trying to bring businesses in, and you want to get him out of office because you don't like his political philosophy. Okay, it seemed that his political philosophy was helping his district, which is, it is not the local Democrats that perturb me often. It is the National Democratic Party, and when we join that party, we say we believe in what you believe in. Okay, that is why the issues are kind of it's difficult sometimes to reconcile this party affiliation thing, especially since the Democrats are the one that came up with Jim Crow, count the beans, the jelly beans in the jar. But then when I bring it up to people, you know what the first thing they say? Well, those were those Democrats are now the Republicans. Okay. Don, I said no more today. I just got done talking to you. Thank you. My Lord, brother, you're not a nice guy. Okay. I don't mind talking to you, but give me one today. Okay. Anyway. Don, what do you want?
Kevin,
what?
If I was this guy's lawyer, how do we know that these shell casings didn't come from another shooting?
Again, I don't know. I'm only going by the news
article.
Out
there shooting every day.
Again, I'm going by the articles.
But I wanted to call for Duke. My wife saw the thing where the Acacio Wales, 18-year-old, beat to death of his girlfriend's 2-year-old, and she was really upset about that. So Duke, we got a white person that's upset about a black person beating a 2-year-old to death in Montgomery. Yeah. So I'm waiting on your call, Duke.
You need to get your money right. Let me come and fix it so you can comment.
Well, I don't know. I like calling better.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, again, don't make me block you from there. But we're gonna get you fixed there. Anyway, so let me take my little break, and I shall return uno momento. So you guys hang loose. Break time. Okay, gotta go get some milk. And again, I'm only working 2 days this week. I'm taking a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation since 1983. What year is this? 40? Yeah, I haven't taken a vacation. That's right. I'm going to Prattville or someplace. Yeah, I'm just going to take a break. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, may I go to Prattville? No. Clanton. I think I'll go to Clanton. Okay, privilege can call as many times despite being asked several times not to. I heard it. I hear. Well, we're going to fix that. Got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Oh, one more thing. Y'all will not believe this. I promise you it's true because I wrote the check. My insurance went down $200. My insurance went down. I could not believe it the other day, and it came right in the nick of time because I was a little short anyway. But my insurance went down, and I would State Farm. I mean, I didn't think they'd ever go down, but they went down. It felt good paying that bill the other day. I saved about $400. So, right on, Willie. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. My insurance went. So now, no, I ain't trying to get the $39 deal that you see on TV. They don't exist. They do not exist. Okay, they don't. That's a lie. And if anybody wants to change the way America thinks, say you can't put anything on the internet, that's a lie. The internet will close down tomorrow. Okay, advertising will close down tomorrow. But my insurance went down. I could not believe it. I did not believe it. I mean, and my rent went down. My rent went down. I mean, the good Lord, I must be doing something right. My rent went down. My insurance went down when everybody else was going. It must be. I must be doing something right. I must be. That's the only thing I could think of. It was the good Lord. Because I tell you what, boy, your creating rate must have gone up. Not really. Not really. But anyway, let's take a break and we'll be back. So y'all might want to get over to State Farm because their rate's going down a little bit here. So y'all might want to go on over there and see about changing your insurance company. Because I tell you, I'd say it was $200. I didn't say $20 less. I didn't say $10 less. It was $200 less than what it normally is. Okay, I'm just telling you. I feel good that day. So let's take a break, and we shall return uno momento. Hang loose right quick. And where did my son go? Oh, there we go right there. Oh, we'll be back right after this. Alrighty then. We're back. Yep, I'm working Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. I'm taking a vacation for the first time in years and years and years. Yeah, I might go to Prattville, Mobile, someplace like that, just to hang out and see. But I've never really been to Mobile. I don't remember being there anyway. Okay, let's cut that off right quick. I'm back. We'll cut that off right quick. I'm back. Yeah, can't believe my insurance went down with State Farm. Man, I've been one from 30-something. I've been one about 33 years, though. You know, I didn't know I was going to ever live that long to be with anybody, 33 years. But anyway, that's where we roll. I want to thank Arandi Mitchell for coming on. That's true. Now, tomorrow, I think tomorrow begins the sign up for this District 3, City Council District 3. I'm expecting about 8 or 9 people, I think, if the rumors I'm hearing is true. And of course, I no doubt will be the most famous of them all. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put my feet in the water. Win, lose, or draw, it's still gonna be an experience anyway. So yeah. Nobody owns the seat. It is a seat that's open. Evidently, Marche decided not to fight it again. I guess I don't know exactly what her reasoning was behind that. And if you want to know the duties and responsibilities of a city councilman, all you got to do is look up Act 618 on the Constitution of Alabama, and you can find out what it is. And often, what people want the city council person to do has nothing to do with the responsibilities of a city council person. One of the things I would love to do if I made it, not give the same old people money all the time without letting other people get, you know, we give, and I've been in front of them too. When we used to do the computer thing, for 10 years, we gave away 300 computers to kids out here. I always got a little money from the city council. I only did it for the city council twice, and I got about $2,000 a year from them. But that money didn't go in my pocket. That money went into purchasing computers for kids who met certain requirements. In school, it's called Homeschool Community. It's called Youth Leadership Corps, and I still got it. I just haven't upped the whatever that IRS thing is for a while. I just got tired of messing with all that paperwork. I'm not very good at paperwork, but I think we need to share that money with other people, not just the same group of people. Yeah, it's probably would. I'm pretty sure it would be a win. You're right. I agree, Julie. Whoever wins this thing, winner take all. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. It's at large. If the guy in the charge beats everybody by one vote, let him have it. All this, but they already got the runoff scheduled already if there needs to be one. So I guess they're playing. I don't know if that's the law or not. Okay. There go you win. So what? Anyway, but I want to see. And again, I'm not afraid to actually say what needs to be said, because if we had people come in front of the city council for years, same people getting the money, where other people who are trying to do something too can't ever seem to get any. I mean, that's everybody's money down there. That's not just a few people in the city of Montgomery getting money. It's everybody. If you pay one tax in this town, some of that money that we give away every year to these people, and I think they deserve it. You know, if they're doing a yeoman's work, if they're taking care of the least of these, absolutely give them some money. But you know what? I think there should be a rotation. I think there should be a rotation. After 5 years, you come off. And after 5 years, if you can't not convince somebody to support you, then maybe you're not doing enough. I mean, why not go to everybody's house in the neighborhood and say, hey, can we need $5 from you? Can we get $5 a month from you? Whatever, something small. And everybody, listen, everybody get $5. Go to the neighborhoods you help and see if they're willing to give, because they may be the recipient of that help sometimes. Groceries, help get your light bill turned back on and things of that nature. So Yeah, I just think the same people getting the money all the time. It's kind of unfair to everybody else. Okay, or I just think we should rotate it. That's just me. I know that you lose some votes on that one right there. I got you, but it ain't that much money, so you're not losing much money even if you don't get the job back again. Okay, I think we need to. I think we need to give a definitive answer to the question: what must I do in order to get my liquor license? Okay, I think we need that. Okay, so I think that there's a couple things to do, but here's the one thing. Here's the one thing that I mean I can do anything, but here's what I want to. You know, if you go to Prattville to a city council meeting, they actually let the people who pay the bills go first, and then they get down to the people's business. I think Montgomery should do the same thing. I think we shouldn't make people sit there for 2 and 3 hours when all they want to do is come up there and get a little issue. They shouldn't be relegated to insignificance. And that's what we do in the city council of Montgomery. Well, after we get done with everything else, now we're going to come down there when you're tired, you're sleepy, you want to go home, you done worked all day. Now we're going to get you. And then when we get you up there, we're going to tell you, hurry, speed it up. Okay. So I'm thinking that ought to be a process by which we do in Montgomery. The people who sit in the audience are the people that pay us or pay them. We work for them. They don't work for us. Now, I brought this up to Calhoun and a couple people years ago about, hey, let them speak first. They don't want. I mean, you're the reason that you're here because of us. Okay, so stop relegating us to insignificance. I mean, they do. Well, after we get done talking about this and talking about that and then going back around talking about it again, then we'll get to you guys out there in the chair. Okay, man, you are paving the way. Okay, well, whatever. Again, I'm not running to be well known or to be famous. Already am. And being known sometimes is not that great a deal. Not that big a deal, especially if you don't help you pay your light bill. So again, and you know what? Listen, and that's one of the reasons why we have a problem in America. People don't want to do what's right. They want to do what's popular. Okay. There's nothing wrong with putting the people who pay the bills before us. There's an attribute that human beings should get reintroduced to. Anybody know what that attribute is? But there's an attribute that we seem to have lost along the way. Okay, anybody know what that attribute is? And it helps everybody who ever tries it. Helps everybody who ever tries it. Okay, as a matter of fact, me myself, I need to try it more often myself. Okay, but there's an attribute, and that attribute is called. Oh, I'll put it on the thing here. Okay, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, there we go, right there. Okay, this is the attribute right here that needs. We need to use more of it. Humility. And what does that word mean? What does humility mean? Anybody know what humility is? It's an attribute. Okay, humility. Okay, what is the meaning of humility? Well, it means the quality of having a modest, accurate view of one's own importance, combined with a respectful regard for others. It is defined by the lack of ego, arrogance, and entitlement, rather than a lack of self-worth. So again, this is one of the attributes that we seem to lose, especially once we get into public office. Okay, it is amazing to me that it will take you a long way if you use it. Okay, long way, especially if you are in the business of serving the public. Okay, so I'm just saying, we might want to, we might want to get used to that. Because see, that's what I will bring to the city council: humility. Now, I'm not saying that everybody down there is arrogant, but a local politician told me, if enough people tell you that your doo-doo don't stink, you begin to think that your doo-doo don't stink. Okay, you begin to think that. Okay. Well, and again, listen, Camilla, you may be right. I think that I think we all need to work on a little bit better. Me too. Everybody. I think, but at least I recognize that it is something that it is a quality that we need. Humility, the quality of having a modest, accurate view of one's own worth. Some people think they're more important than what they are. Combined with a respectful regard for others, it is defined by a lack of ego, arrogance, entitlement, rather than a lack of self-worth. You can still feel good about yourself without think you're better than everybody else. Okay. So when I take my chair down there, on District 3, trust me, I'll be sitting out there. I'll put myself in the same position that people are who are sitting out in the in the audience. Okay, I'm just saying that's the kind of guy I am. Okay, that's the kind of guy I am. Okay, because one thing about it, everybody at some point in time gets the same dirt. Everybody does. They don't have no dirt for the rich and other dirt for the poor. Everybody gets the same dirt. So, when I begin to answer questions I can answer questions that are relevant, that are logical and reasonable. I don't suffer fools. Okay, I don't suffer fools. I don't answer questions that you already know the answer to. And here's my thing about questions. If you ask me a question, you better know the answer. And don't ask me a dumb question because these are I got you questions. You think you're smarter than somebody, so you ask them something that first of all that is based on conjecture and based on personal opinion. And some questions have no answer. They have action, but they don't have answers. Okay, so that's my question. So and listen, I'm not intimidated by somebody who makes these dumb statements. Really, seriously. I'm a United States Army paratrooper, baby. It's going to take a whole lot more than that to intimidate me. Okay, I'm just telling you, ain't talking smack on the internet ain't a way to intimidate me. Especially when I can block you. I'll pull a Jamil Brown on you. I'll just block you. That way I won't see you. But be kind to me, and I'll be kind to you. I'll be kind to you often, even if you're not kind to me. So I'm just saying. Yeah. So Councilman Elkins, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you what I won't do. I will never get on anybody about personal failures. I won't. I never do that. I've been in this business a long time, and I've never done that because everybody's failed at something. I have. As a matter of fact, I've failed at multiple things. But I don't care about the guy who falls. I care about the guy who won't get up. That's the one who gets on my nerve. The one who just won't get up. Just sit down there and boo-hoo. Okay? That's it. Your guy will make you bow down to his will. I don't know what guy. There's only one person I'm going to bow down to, and that's God himself. Everybody else, that ain't going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know, who you talking about, but it certainly ain't me. I don't bow down to anybody except the one who's the creator of all things. Other than that, nah. Mm-mm. I may go to parade dress for him, from the first sergeant or the company commander, but yeah, we ain't bowing to him. Plus, there's other names. Anyway, so I told you who's the luckiest black man in Montgomery right now. That's Mr. Jarvis Maurice Bowers, 30-round shot. He didn't get killed by the police. Now, what is the lesson of life today? I'm going to tell you what the lesson of life today is before we get out of here, because you guys need to know what the lesson of life is today. And here is the lesson of life. Lesson of life are the things that I have learned growing up and living. You learn a lot of things just by living. Just by living, you learn a lot of things. But these are lesson life right here for today. But today is the 29th day of June, 2022. Sometimes it is not the answer that bothers us. It is who will ask the question. And therein, and that's where politics come in at. Okay, we don't really care sometimes about the answer, but our question: will somebody please ask the question? And I'll ask the question. Okay. And the word of the day is transfixed, and it means being fascinated as if by a spell. You ever seen something in the sky that's sort of a cloud that looks like something that kind of looks like your dad or your mom talking to you. You get fixated on it, right? You can't let go of it. Well, that's what fixated means. It means transfixed. It means you are fascinated by something as if by a spell. And I've been in that place. I've been in that place oftentimes. John, I'm not scared of questions, brother. There ain't but two things that can happen if somebody asks you a question. You either know the answer or you don't know the answer. If you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know. I can do that. I can do that. Not knowing is not a problem. Not being able to find the answer, that's the problem. And if you can read with the internet and all the sources we have today for information, you ought to be able to find out the answer to any question anybody asks. If it is a reasonable and logical question, I shall answer it. But sometimes these political offices and people act as if the question that they be asking me are the question they should ask the people who hold the office now. We don't know all the resources. We don't know what is available to us. We don't know how much power we actually have until we actually get there. Because books don't tell you everything. Okay. So I asked the guy asked me, what's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? Well, I gotta figure out what I gotta plan first. Let me get there. Let me see what's going on. Because when politicians make you plans before they get to the office, most of the time, just in case you haven't noticed, it never happens because we didn't know the authority that we had and the authority that we don't have. Okay. We think we can just go in there and make law. We can't. It takes 5 people on the city council to pass anything. All you can do is hope that you have the ability to galvanize enough people to see your point. That's all you can do. You can't make them. We are little presidents of our district. We're the president of our district, but we're a president with no power. Unless the rest of the presidents get along too and say, yeah, we like that. Okay, you got to get 5 out of the 9 that's down there to make an ordinance. Okay, even the mayor has to get 5 of the 9 that's down there to make an ordinance. So the mayor, so nobody has all power in their hand, and the mayor cannot make ordinances. That has been given under the purview of the city council people to do that. Our government is a strong city council and a weak mayor, but a good mayor knows how to galvanize, knows how to, after a while, because you got to get to know these people, because all these, we got 10 personalities down there. We got 9 city councilmen and a mayor. You got 10 personalities there, and some go left, some go right, some go straight down the middle. I'm sort of like a middle guy. You got to figure out how to galvanize, how to convince them that your cause is just, that what you're trying to get done will help everyone, okay, for the good. So that's all I'm saying. So no one city councilman can tell you what they're going to do. They don't know. They just don't know. They know what they want to do, but they don't know if they can do it. And that's not a big deal because that's where it's been for a long time. Any other questions? Okay, that's a lot. Pray on it, pray over it, and prayerfully think about it or thought. I agree with that. That is a You see, once you go into public office, the decision that you make now don't just affect you; they affect everybody. And you're right. She's right. You have to pray on it. Get guidance from the Most High. Get the guidance from the citizens. Get the guidance from everybody. Okay. So I'm thinking, So the dumb quit. What you're going to do? Well, I'll let you know when I get there. I'll let you know what I can do, what I cannot do. One person on the city council has no power. The power comes from the whole. Now, me, since I have been a leader of men, I know a little bit about leadership, a little bit about what it is, and a little bit about what it isn't. And I have to tell you, when I first became a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army, I was crazy. I thought I had all this power. All I found out was I had just enough power to get in trouble. That's what I did. I would go around the base looking for privates to tell them what to do. Then I found out that, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. Mm-hmm. So now when you got questions for me, and I'm hoping somebody comes up with a debate, not a debate, but a forum. We can't have debates. We can have a forum where people can ask questions of their particular person they support or the one they don't support. But we don't have debates. We call it debate. It's a forum, FORUM, forum is what we can have. And that gives everybody an opportunity to shoot their best shot. Okay, so I'm good with that. As soon as somebody come up with one, I would be at them all, every last one of them. Because that's what I want to do. I've been wanting to run for office for a long time, but if you're in radio or television, you can't do it without quitting your job. And I would have had to quit, because a couple of years ago I was trying to, but I even had a sign made up, just one sign made up. Yeah. And the other day somebody gave me some seed money, wrote me a check for my campaign. I appreciate that. No, I didn't spend it on chicken or anything like that. It's still in the bank. It's still in the bank because that's my job. That money is to be used only for campaign expenses. That's why when you run a campaign, you got to have a different account than your own personal account. Okay, you got to have. So how do we know you ain't paying your car note with that money? You got everybody in town paying your car note. So anyway, I hear you. Oh, what is that? I hear you complaining about all the problems of the city. You should have some kind of thoughts. I got all kinds of thoughts, but thoughts don't mean anything unless they can be implemented. I don't. I got to tell you something. I don't see the city in all this bad shape that people see. I don't see it. We got a problem with crime. And the what's the word I'm looking for? The impetus of that crime is bad parenting, not holding parents accountable until their kids, not holding their kids accountable. And it was up to me in the municipality. If you get a child that's out, if I had anything to do with it and you could get it done, you get a child that's in trouble. When they got to go to court, their parents must be there with them. They must be there with them. Whether you work or not, we don't care. You must be there with them because evidently you didn't do a good job. And that's 17 and below. You didn't do a good job raising your kids. So now both of you guys are going to come in front of this court. He may get the majority of the punishment, but you're going to get 100% of the responsibility. Because you did not raise your kid. If it was up to me, that's what you would do. When you get a child and got to go to court and you need to be down there with them. One of y'all need to be down there with them, and we need to hold some of these fathers accountable. And if mama don't know who the daddy is, take the child and put him in DHR. Because if you so irresponsible, you don't even know who the father of your children is. You can't put whose ever name on the birth certificate. That's who we going after. Okay, that's who we going after. Is that legal until after qualifying? Is what legal? Oh, you can raise money. You just can't spend it for the time being. Okay, at least not that I know of. I mean, I guess you can raise money all the time. I mean, I don't know. Do you think women should rule over men? Of course not. when you answer this question, you would lose the women vote. No, you'll be surprised at how many women actually think the way I do. A lot of women. Okay, we all have roles. We all have roles. God made it nature where one is dominant and one is not dominant. Okay, and God made the man dominant. He has dominion over everything on this earth. Okay, and you'll be surprised how many women believe that. The problem is they can't really find a guy who's worthy of, shall we say, following. Okay. No, I don't think that's the case. But they want you to be a man. And being a man doesn't mean go grab him by the hair and drag him in the bedroom and have your way with him and say, now go cook me something to eat. Okay, it doesn't mean that. It means guide by example. Okay? No, but I don't think women should rule over men. No, I do not do that. I think whatever you ask me to do, if you want to rule over me, whatever you ask me to do, you ought to be able to do the same thing. And that's the problem I got with some women in the army, in the military. They 5'1" and can't hardly do anything, but they're getting the same pay that I get because they cannot lift anything. They cannot, and they're not supposed to. So why not stick to jobs that you can do physically? The man brings the strength. Okay, God made it that way. That's why our arms are bigger, our legs are bigger. Most of the time we're taller, except me. I'm not that much taller than a lot of women. But I ain't a woman. Okay, I'm just saying. But yeah, so much for that. I think tomorrow was Thursday the first day you can qualify. Tuesday, I think Wednesday the first day you can qualify. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is what legal until after qualifying for the office? Is what legal? I don't know what you mean. Be more precise, huh? Be more precise. Okay. No, I didn't spend no money for the kick. What conversate means. Anyway, anybody else before I go? Anybody got more questions? This is my forum here. You got any more questions about my policies and my policy desires? I'll listen to you. Give me what do you think in District 3? And the problem is though, we don't just write ordinances. They don't just write ordinances for District 3. They write ordinances for the whole city. While you represent one part of the city, the laws that you make govern the whole city. Okay. In other words, you can't make a law that only governs District 3. You can't. So the laws have to go for everybody. And the one I want to do, okay, then I'm gonna be gone. Okay. How do you make Montgomery better? Great question. I think we have a pooper scooper law. We have a pooper scooper law. If you walk your ugly dog down the street and that dog hikes his leg up and drops a load on your grass, yeah, you need to tase him and the owner. I think that is the height of disrespect, and you need to carry a pooper scooper. So if it's up to me, we're going to have an ordinance where you walk down the street, your ugly little dog that looks just like you. And if you don't have a plastic bag in your hand or a pooper scooper, you get a fine. If the police have time to write you the ticket at that particular moment, you get a fine. And that first fine is $100. After that, it's $350 every time you do it. Okay, that make you want to get a pooper scooper or a plastic bag with you. Okay, stop. And I walked out in the yard yesterday, and guess what I stepped on? That's right, a whole pile of crap in my yard. I don't have a dog. Okay, and then I looked across the street, and that same person 2 days later was letting their dog drop a load in somebody else's yard. Is that not the height of disrespect? What if somebody stood in front of your yard and gave you the bird? Okay, they stood in your yard, gave you the bird, and the middle finger. You wouldn't like that, would you? Well, okay. Well, I don't like the middle finger coming from your ugly ass dog putting his business in my yard. Okay, there's some people around here who take a lot of pride in doing their yards, and especially if you got little kids running in the yard who may step in some of that crap that your dog left. Okay, I'm just saying. So we're gonna have a pooper scooper ordinance if I got anything to do with it. If I can get people to go along with it, we need it. Okay, and besides that, we can raise extra money for the tax. We can raise extra money to buy something. for the city that the city needs, and all because you wouldn't let your dog crap in your yard. All right. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. It's over for the day. Be back tomorrow, and then I'm taking the rest of the week off. But remember, the pooper. How do you spell this? POOC. Okay, it's going to be the pooper scooper ordinance. Okay, the pooper scooper ordinance. That's what we're going to do. Okay, because we don't want you letting your ugly dog crap in our yard anymore. I'm tired of it. Okay, I am tired of that. I don't know, the person that gave me my seed money was a lawyer, so I would imagine that they knew the law better than I did. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do it. See, and that's it. Everybody's looking at the find you did something wrong. Everybody look at trying to do something wrong. If I was trying to do something wrong, I wouldn't tell you. We won the war for the 20th time for another 300 billion. Yeah, I hear you about on that one. I'm about tired of hearing Trump and this Iranian thing. If we can't beat them, say bring the boys home. They ain't no sense have. If you're not gonna let them win, bring them home. Okay, right? The K9 wanted. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, we're gonna have. If I got anything to do with it, we're gonna have the pooper scooper ordinance. Okay, that's right. Take you and your ugly dog and go crap in your own yard. Don't crap in mine. Okay, I got enough crap in my life already. I don't need no extra. Anyway, gotta go. Hope you have a great, and don't forget today's word of the day is. Remember what I told you. It is not the answer that bothers us. It is who will ask the question. Who will ask the question? It is not the answer that bothers us. Who will ask the question? And brother, I can tell you, and sisters, I will ask the questions. Have a great day, everybody. You think this is war? You're a girly man. No, this ain't war. And that's the problem when I get it. We need to call it war, and that way get it done. Okay. No sense putting our guys in harm's way when we're not trying to fight to win it. Okay. If we don't win it, then we got to be in it. And if we're going to be in it, we ought to win it. I don't know what. Again, I think he's trying not to. I think the president is trying not to kill civilians. And I have an appreciation for that. But then send in the Rangers. Okay. Let us go in there. Let them go in there and take them out. Okay. Guerrilla style. If that's what we want to do. If not, pack it up. Get the 130s and the 123s ready to go and the C5s ready to go and bring them home. Just if we can't win it, then if we don't want to win it, then let's just get out of it. I'm tired of hearing about young folks dying, and we're not trying to win. Every life, every piece of blood we spill over there has been in vain if we're not there to win. Okay, and right now, I don't think Hex has much to do with this. He works for the commander in chief, which is the president of the United States. I just don't know. I don't know what our goals are now in Iran. You know, I mean, 1 minute I'm shaking I'm clapping my hands because I think we're going to bring everybody home and we secured what we went over there to secure. And then next minute I hear they done bomb somebody in the Strait of Hormuz. Those people don't think the way we do. We better start thinking the way they do, because the one thing they don't like is weakness. And if they get a perception, if they perceive that you're weak, they'll run you over. Okay, they'll run you over. Okay, I'm just saying. So, President better. I got to be on Joe Hagler's show today. Yeah, I'm going down there when I leave here. I'm going to talk to the rest of my public. So, gotta go. And remember what I always say. Now. It is not the falling down that gives us the strength. It is getting up each and every time we fall. So the word of the day, keep getting up. Falling ain't bad. Staying down there, yeah, that's a problem. We'll be back. Have a great day.
Make in the tapestry of life, I see your grace. Every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight. In every shadow you are my light. Thank you, Lord, for the laughter and tears, for the strength you give in all my fears. In the rhythm of my heart, I hear your call. With grateful songs, I rise above all. Through storms that rage and skies of blue, each day I wake and I choose you. In every heartbeat, in every prayer, thankful for life and the love we share.